Are you a language teacher, either teaching online or teaching in the classroom? I've been teaching languages for more than 30 years. I've taught both Spanish and English, and what I'm going to do in this session is show you what I think to be one of the most useful tools that we can use in a language classroom. Now, I have to admit, I discovered this a little late in my teaching career, and I really wished I'd known more or thought more about this technology before. I'm going to start by actually doing a demonstration just so very quickly you can understand what I'm talking about, and immediately you'll see why this tool could be so useful. So let me quickly show you this. Now, this could be done in a classroom perfectly. Watch this. I'm going to click on Share. I'm going to click on Advanced, and I'm going to click on Use Visualizer. I've got a second camera, which is a visualizer, which allows me to literally show the students in my Zoom session, but I could do this in the classroom, anything that I want to write on the side, or show a book, or show a photocopy, or show my notes. Watch this. So what you can see me using here is a visualizer. I'm able to actually visualize something. I can show the students anything that I've got on my table, and I can start writing, and they can actually see what I'm writing. So if I wanted to go through, for example, some of the problems here, then I could be talking about this, and the students can see this while I'm actually in a Zoom session. Or of course, this could be in the classroom, and I could be projecting this onto the screen. Now, of course, students could come up with their work and show their work to the rest of the class. The teacher could go through some answers. I'm going to show you in a minute lots of examples of the sorts of things we can do in a language classroom with a visualizer. So I was using a visualizer to do that. In other words, I plugged in the visualizer, and that allows me to show and demo anything from a book, from my notes, even to show an object that I've got next to my computer, either in the classroom or in that particular example you just saw there, I was doing that on Zoom. Okay, so that's given you a bit of a taster of what this technology can do. What I'm going to do now is take you through about 7 or 8 different examples of things that I've been doing recently when I've been experimenting with this technology. These ideas are all related to language teaching. Really hope you like the video, and if you do, please like it, please share it, please comment on it, and of course, join me on my YouTube channel. Let's take a look at some ideas that we can use with the visualizer in a language teaching context. Okay, well done everyone on doing that exercise. That was really good, but I just want to go through a few words that you are having problems with. The first one I just want to say is accommodation. Don't forget the stress here on accommodation is on the 4th syllable. So it's accommodation. And notice here that it's double C, double M. Next word is fragile, fragile. So make sure it's aisle, fragile, okay? So make sure here that you've got the nice I sound, okay? Fragile. Next word, prolific. It's not prolific, it's pr. So we're using the schwa, prolific, prolific, and again the stress is here. Now, the visualizer is really useful for loads of things in language teaching. The most obvious thing really means it's just an opportunity to either share a book or a handout or a worksheet that you want the students to work through. So, for example, if I was to just jump over to this example here, I'll turn the visualizer on. I've got kind of some Polish grammar. I'm studying Polish at the moment, and so just pulled this out as I've got it available to me. And, you know, then the teacher can start to go through and explain and perhaps give examples of each of these phrases. These in Polish, this is what we call the locative. So you can see, and of course what you can do, which is great if you just want to emphasize anything when you're talking. It's absolutely ideal for correcting things. So let's say you've asked the students to do an exercise perhaps in class, and then you want to go through it, and you can say to them, okay, so what's the answer to number 1 down? They can tell you the answer. You could even write it in so that they can see where you're writing, etc. And you can just see how clear this is, how well I can visualize in on the page. And remember, I can always kind of move in even closer if I want to. So I've always got that ability to really focus in and make it super clear. So it's ideal for correcting work from students. Incidentally, if you're looking for a good website for language learning, word games, grammar games and activities, then watch the video that's on the screen now. It's going to take you to one of the most popular websites for making games, language games and activities. Just to emphasize that point, look at this here. I've got a textbook open. This is a textbook that I'm using to study Polish, and I'm going to bring in the camera visualizer and just show you, look how close I can bring it if I want to focus on a particular word. It really is great that I can just get that much kind of focus, and it really does help when I'm kind of in a lesson and I want to emphasize a certain point or a certain list of vocabulary, etc. Just a super quick break from the video. If you are a language teacher and you're interested in learning more about the use of technology in language teaching, then please come over to teachertrainingvideos.com. Loads and loads of content that you can access, including my blog, which is for free at the bottom of the screen. You've also got information about my courses here and lots of videos that you can watch. And at the moment, we've got a special offer. If you sign up to the newsletter, you will get a free 14-part video course in using technology in language teaching, and you'll also get updated, of course, with all the latest videos, the blogs, the free webinars that we often run, and the online courses that I organize. Okay, let's get back to the video. So I'm going to show you in a minute some more ideas. As we were testing and using this technology, we just kept coming up with more and more ways of using it. And I'm just going to show you the actual visualizer that I use. This was sent to me from a company. They haven't paid for this promotion, but they just offered to share this with me and said, if you like it, then start using it in your classes. And I did, and I just kept coming up with more and more ideas. The fact that you can move this around really does help. And the way that it works basically is that you've got a lead here, USB cable, and that plugs into the computer, which means that you can kind of move it around everywhere. You can use it for all sorts of things. If you look on the internet, you'll see loads and loads of ways in all different types of genres where this is being used. For example, it's great in cooking lessons because you can kind of use it to film really close up, you know, cutting things, cooking things, etc. I'm going to show you now some more ideas of using this technology in a language teaching situation. I think you're going to find these ones really useful. For example, showing students how to use apps, even using it for games that we played in small classes, and it worked really well. I think this is a really good idea of when the visualizer can become so useful. Here I've got my telephone. I want to explain to the students how to use this particular app. I can explain to them, okay, go to kahoot.it. This is what you're going to see. Click on game number, and then I can tell them what pin number to put in, and then press enter. This sort of thing can be really, really helpful when you're in online, but also in the classroom. This would work perfectly as well. If you don't know how to use Kahoot, I have a very popular video that's on the screen now that you can click on, which will take you through exactly how to use the free version with your students. Now, another couple of ideas that work really well when working in a kind of game situation. This would be ideal for small classes. You've got a pen and a paper, and you're on Zoom, and you tell the students, right, okay, I'm going to draw a house here, and I want you now to tell me things to draw into the house or around the house, under the house, etc. So a great game for practicing prepositions. So one student might say, oh, at the top on the right, there's a flower. sorry, there's a sun, and then you would draw the sun. And then someone else might say, well, on the left-hand side there are 2 flowers, and then you could just draw the flowers. Now, you can't do this with a really big class, but with a small class this can work really well. The students are giving you instructions. You could even give them time to prepare and think of things that they can say, and of course they could do a garden fence, etc., etc. So that's a really nice example of how the visualizer could be used in a language classroom. I'm going to show you another idea that we experimented that also worked really well. Incidentally, if you're a language teacher or a language student and you're looking for a great website with lots and games of activities, then watch the video that's on the screen now. Just click on it. It's going to take you to one of the best technologies that you can use for making games and activities, particularly when teaching online or using your mobile phone. So this type of thing works really well, where the students are basically going to give you instructions on what to draw in a grid. So let's say, for example, we were practicing just basic low level, because obviously the grid, we can always change it and have different letters, like for example X, Y, Z, or even have bigger numbers. But you might say, for example, the student might say to you, in B20 draw a flower, and then in B20 you would draw a flower, and then another student might say to you, in C10 draw a hand, and then you would have to draw a hand. Okay, so that kind of thing can work really, really well. In A10 draw a sun, and then you draw a sun, etc. So this type of thing where the students are giving you instructions. Another idea that worked really well is a map, turn left, turn right, etc. Not ideal for big groups, but if you're working with small groups of students, these sorts of things could be really useful. Okay, really hope you found that useful. As I said before, please come over to teachertrainingvideos.com. Loads of free videos all on the opening page that are focused on language teaching. The whole website is really about using technology for language teachers. And as I've said, if you sign up to the newsletter, there is a special offer. There are no tricks. It's a 14-part free course in using technology in language teaching. Don't forget my blog, which is at the bottom of the page. And of course, you can find out about my paid courses here as well. I'm going to leave some more videos on the screen now that you might find interesting. And thank you very much.